G'day everyone, welcome back to the Jimbo channel, and in today's video we will dive right into North Melbourne's odd season. The season started with a bang as Clarko guided North Melbourne to a classic victory against the Eagles at Marvel. We were in control until the last quarter where the Eagles fought back, but it wasn't enough as my beloved Kangaroos got over the line 87 to 82. Next up was the trip to Perth, and most North fans, including myself, were expecting a loss. All I wanted was some effort, and we 100% got that effort. The lads came out firing against Freo, and we were the better side all day. Our dominant day nearly turned into a heartbreak as Freo fought back. O'Meara kicking 2 late goals nearly cost us the match. Harry Sheasel was the hero. Most players would rush the ball for a behind, but Sheasel didn't allow that and kicked it away. Freo did one last push, but North dug our heels in and won a classic game of footy in the West, 73 to 72. Next up, Clarko was taking on Sam Mitchell and the Hawks, a bitter matchup as the Hawthorn racism investigation was going on. The Roos seemed extremely flat in Tassie as the Hawks dominated in the first half. North Melbourne made an effort to come back, but it ultimately was not good enough as we fell short, 61 to 80. Now this is our match, the biggest game of the year, the Good Friday Super Clash, a match that is far more important than footy. North Melbourne and Carlton sold out Marvel Stadium with a record crowd, the highest at Marvel since 2013. North Melbourne and Carlton were neck and neck until the third quarter, where the umpires decided to hand Carlton some soft and cheap frees, which eventually was too much as we lost 84 to 107. Gather Round is next. Now obviously I was there, and what an experience it was, but for the North Melbourne side of things it was a nightmare. After a competitive first quarter, we folded, and Brisbane destroyed us in every single way. Our first thrashing of 2023 as we lost 77 to 152. Nightmare fuel. And it didn't get any better for our Anzac Week matchup against the Suns. We looked extremely flat again and lost 54 to 97. Now this next game is the worst game for North Melbourne in 2023. The MCG against Melbourne. We were out of it before the opening bounce, and it was humiliating. By the first quarter, we were already like 40 points down. We ended up getting destroyed, humiliated, and our pants were pulled down. We lost 49 to 139. I reckon this next game was the most unentertaining game of footy I've ever watched, if I'm being completely honest. This was between North Melbourne and St Kilda. Both teams were extremely inaccurate, but unfortunately the Saints marched to a victory. Pretty disappointing for North Melbourne as we went down 34 to 64. Now this next game in Tassie absolutely killed us. Port Adelaide was so dominant, we just didn't show up, and we ended up losing 65 to 135. Not really much to add on to this one, we just got humiliated. Not really an interesting game of footy if I'm being honest. Later that week, Clarko stepped away from North due to his mental health and the toll of the racism investigation, which he is now innocent on. Brett Ratton was appointed senior coach, and I believe this next game was one of our best games of the season as we fought to the very end against the Swans. We even had a decent lead against the Swans. Unfortunately, they got back into the game and won. One call cost us a classic victory, and the umpires gave it to Sydney pretty much, and Sydney won, and we lost 90 to 93. I'm still very appalled to this decision to this very day, and I believe we are robbed from that. Next was Collingwood at Marvel, and let's be honest, we had no chance going into this game at all. That third quarter especially was looking extremely rough, but in the fourth quarter, we didn't allow Collingwood to kick away and make it a 70-point thrashing like David Noble would usually do. We came back and we only lost 70 to 105. Now what a shootout for this match with North Melbourne and Essendon. This is by far our best performance all season. We fought extremely hard, as we should. But Razor Ray helped Essendon snatch the victory out of North Melbourne's hands as we lost 99 to 105. I was there. My heart was absolutely broken for the second time this year. Going into this next game, it's a bit of a relevant one against the Giants in Tassie. I've shared my opinions on Tassie. I don't really like North playing there anymore. Our first half, on the other hand, was quite good against the Giants, but unfortunately, we ran out of steam and lost 75 to 103. This brings us to the last game of the video, the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. And if I'm being honest, this is another example of how far we have come since last year, as we were up in the first quarter. And we were only down by 10 at halftime. But unfortunately, as most of the season has gone for North Melbourne, the Bulldogs were too good in the end, and we went down 84 to 105. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been one hectic season for the Roos, as we hope we can get some more wins in the second half of the year. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.